Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, John.
Hello. I play Alunodas, Elven monk, slightly evil.
And Hannah.
I'm Hannah and I play Talia, the human rogue. Definitely evil.
And Shane.
I'm Shane. I'm playing Alexander, the human wizard bard.
And Blake.
I'm Blake and I'll be playing the eldritch knight wizard Dragonborn, Juliet.
And Oliver is not here again this week, so we'll be sure to kill him in the next fight.
We were talking earlier, we were thinking we could sacrifice him to the drow once they show up. He won't mind.
So, the last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, you guys had entered the tomb of Bonebreaker. You went through the entrance, you started to explore around when you came to a stone door that was leaking some hot, humid air. You were checking it out, making sure that it wasn't enchanted or trapped, and formulating your plan when Turin just walked up to the door and kicked it in to jump in and see what's big. Inside you found a forge and some green slimes that you dispatched pretty quickly. Inside you found some adamantine and silver ingots, some adamantine weapons that had not disintegrated over the ages. You'd found some other various rusted and dilapidated weapons that were made of steel that had not survived the 2,500 some odd years that they've been in here. You found a forge that was powered by lava that was still operating, and you found a magical item that is a decanter of endless water. So that's where you find yourselves now. So what do you want to do?
Let's load up the precious metals on the cart and continue exploring.
Do you really think we have time for that?
Is anyone chasing us? I mean...
Yes.
Can they get in?
I'm sure eventually they will.
Well, if you're not concerned about money.
Look, maybe we can come back for the medals.
We almost certainly will. Almost certainly. That was sarcasm.
Oh, let's just move on. Got nothing better to do.
So you exit this room to the south and go through the doors to the east. That's where you came in, and to the west is an area you haven't explored yet.
Nice rug. Really ties the room together.
All right, so you enter this room, and it's fairly large. It's about 50 feet to the back wall and about 70 feet wide. The ceiling inside here is about 20 feet tall. It's made of the same rock as the rest of this area, which is like a mixture of like basalt and obsidian. You're going to see some bronze buckets here towards the north, and a large 10-foot wide well with appears to be like an adamantine like crossbar that has an adamantine chain that descends down into the well.
Is that what I mistook for a rug?
Yes.
Okay.
There's also a wooden cart down here to the south that looks like if you touched it, it'd probably fall apart.
Juliet still has detect magic active. She's going to check the room for any signs of magic.
All right. There's no magic in here that you can tell. Give me everybody give me a perception check.
22.
5.
20.
26. Doesn't matter too much. 2 of us crit succeeded the perception roll.
All right. So Shane, Juliet, Alunodas, and let me do one for Turin real quick. He got a 3. Never mind. So you are going to hear some sounds coming from this well.
What's that, Lassie?
And it sounds like it's coming from, like, deep inside of it.
Well. Might as well check it out.
Okay. Alunodas looks down into the well and see, dark vision 60 feet, so we'll see what he can see down there.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check.
Interesting.
All right, that's a 17.
Yes.
So you are going to peer down into this well, and as you do, there is this black ooze that shoots up from the well and tries to attack you, but you nimbly dodge out of the way as it slams against the ground.
Guys, there's definitely something in this well. Possibly alive. Possibly hot. Oh, God, Kevin.
Accurate.
It's the ooze Cosby.
So for those at home, they're black puddings with Bill Cosby's face on them.
Do they have paralytical effects?
We'll find out.
You will find out.
Well, let's just hope we remember what happens tomorrow morning.
And we were doing so well with the political correctness, Kevin.
How's that politically incorrect? It's Bill Cosby. It's pudding. Not only was he the spokesman for Jell-O pudding, but that image was taken directly from one of those commercials.
You put the pills in the pudding.
All right.
Wow, guys.
I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
I'm all out.
Bring the
Don't
initiative
forget
tracker
to
up.
bring up the thing before we roll initiative. Wow, we're all doing Talia.
Mine was the first result up there, so that means I'm first, right? Even though I rolled a 6.
Get out of here, kid.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what?
Question. So, I've probably asked this before, but it's been several months, and I just want to ask because I've just been curious. I remember, why don't you roll the oozes on the same initiative tracker so that way they just go at the same time?
Because I don't think that's how it would work in real life.
He did that for when we had the mob of peasants to deal with, but when there's only 2 monsters,
Plus, one came out of the well at a different time than the other. All right, so these 2 black puddings come out of this well and ooze their way out onto the floor. And Adel's standing right beside one of them. He's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And he's going to take his sword and just instinctively slash at it. So that first attack is a 6. That's going to miss. And the second one is an 11. That's going to hit for 14 damage.
damn.
But as he does that, what's going to happen is he's going to slash down into it, and it's going to split into 2 new puddings.
Of course it
Oh,
does.
guys, kill it with fire.
Are they the same size as the original pudding?
No, they're about half size.
This
What
is
the
a
hell
lot
you
of
moving me
better.
out of the way for? I didn't do anything.
Oh, I grabbed you.
And you shrunk me. What are you doing?
The
DM
DM's
help.
power is too much.
And now Talia.
All right. Yeah, now Talia, you're up.
All right. I am going to try something I haven't tried in a while, guys. Poison spray
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Ooh.
on the ooze closest to me. So ooze 3.
Poison, did you say?
Yes. Let me guess. It doesn't do anything.
Go ahead, and is that a spell attack or is that a save DC?
Spell attack.
That's a spell attack, and then.
Oh no, it's a save DC.
No, it is a save. It has a DC of 16, I think it says. Hold on.
Made a 21 on its con save, so there's no
So
way.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
first,
no way
no, I
you
got a
can see.
0. You rolled it. D20 minus 3.
I think. Yeah, creature must succeed or take a D1 D12 damage.
Which it
Oh,
succeeded.
it's 2 D12.
And it's a cantrip, so I doubt that it's a half damage. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Turn, yes. Or I still have another action.
That should be your action, right? The poison spray.
Unless you want
Yep.
to move.
Yeah. I'm just gonna back up, and that's gonna be my turn. That's all I'm backing up.
All right, Alunodas, you're up.
I am going to punch Black Ooze number 2.
Who is not properly aligned to the square grid.
I am shocked. There we go. First attack, 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
Boom for 9 damage. And second attack, 14.
That'll hit as well.
All right, for another 7 damage. And then I will not spend a cheap point. I'm just going to do a bonus strike. Dang, for another 10 damage.
That hits as well.
And I believe that's Alunodas' entire turn.
So you take 3 punches at this, and it's almost like hitting like used motor oil, but a little bit more viscous.
I was thinking it'd be more like slapping pudding.
All right, Juliet, you're up.
Alright, Julia is going to take a slash at the black ooze in front of her. Taking the halberd for a clean swipe. It's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
That will be 10 slashing damage.
Okay. So when you hit this thing, it's going to split in 2 again.
God damn it. Okay, Juliet's going to cry out, don't hit them with slashing weapons. They'll just split into more.
Oh man, it's my time to shine.
Juliet's going to have to take that damage for the team.
All right, Alexander, you're up.
I'm going to use Ray of Frost, the cantrip, onto the closest black ooze to me. The little small Cosby. So it's D20 plus 6, which is my spell attack modifier.
Okay.
A whole 9.
That hits.
Nice, and it does 1d8 damage. 1d8 cold damage.
Nope, 1
8.
damage.
Well, 1 damage.
So you cast this ray of frost and you hit it, but it doesn't seem to have had any effect on it.
Its speed reduces to 10 feet until the start of my next turn as an effect.
Next up is Black Ooze number 1 is going to attack Alexander.
No!
That is a 6. That's going to miss. Next up is Turin. He is going to turn and attack this black ooze to the north.
Flank it, Turin, flank it.
That's a 13. That's going to hit for 11 damage.
Oh, the spear gives reach? I didn't know that.
Yep. And he's going to take his move action and move up here to flank. Black Ooze number 2 is up. It is going to attack Alexander.
Black Ooze number 2 is the one in between Turin and
my bad.
Alunodas.
So he is going to attack Turin. That is a 15. That's going to miss. Top of the round, back to Adel. He is going to attack Black Ooze number 3 with the flat of his sword. That's a 21. That's going to hit for 17 damage.
It's one hell of a flat.
It's one hell of a sword. It's a big chunk of rock.
Black Ooze number 3 doesn't like that, so it's going to attack Adel. That's a 22. That's going to hit for 10 damage. Talia, you're up.
Alright, I am going... Talia is going to... I guess... I'm gonna come up here to Ooze number 4 and, oh god, I don't even want to, but use my dagger.
Well, it's piercing damage, so it should be... Well, there's a better chance, I assume. I don't know how these things split, but...
Right, because it's stabby instead of slashy. I'm hoping that it doesn't split. Crossing fingers, but I did get a crit, so yay!
Woohoo!
Fortunately, you rolled a 1 on that crit.
Right. And then hold on. Oh, I'm gonna sneak attack, which...
Plus 3d6? Well, there's 3 of them, whatever they are.
Yep, 3d, level 5 is 3d6.
He did more damage with
Damn.
your sneak attack than the
Right.
crit.
19 damage, holy shit.
Damn.
And that's for the crit table.
That is lucky shot. Target takes an extra 1d6 damage. So roll me a d6. That's a 3. So what does it look like when you take this one out?
I am just gonna stab it until it stops moving and begins to just become just a puddle of ooze and not a living creature.
Alright, and you still get a bonus attack.
Oh, I do. I will offhand Black Ooze number 3.
You can move in between so that you could get, whatchamething, flanking.
You're right. I there we go. Alright, so that was my offhand dagger attack.
That's a hit.
For 4. I can't sneak attack on that one, though. Right?
No, only once per thing.
Yeah, once per turn. So yeah, so 4 damage. What?
Which was exactly the hit points that it had.
So I'm gonna do the same thing to that one. I'm just gonna stabby McStabberson until it dies.
So Talia goes and just slaughters these things, just like like checking it, and takes 2 of them down. All right, next up is Alunodas.
Way to go, Talia. I'm going to imitate Talia, and I'm going to punch the living poo out of this ooze.
What? Talia didn't punch anything.
Well, okay, that's... Shut up.
You know what I mean.
Alright, that's an
Ouch.
11 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh, for 6 damage. That's the first. 11 again for 10 more damage. And bonus strike. 18 for 8 more damage. Total
All
of
right.
24.
So again, you just bam, bam, bam
Punch,
at
punchy,
this thing,
punch.
and you can see where holes are forming, where you can see the ground, where the pudding spread out. Next up's Juliet.
Alright, Juliet's gonna slosh forward through one of these slimes. And the last remaining one here, she's gonna take a stab at to puncture its membrane. A 24 to hit,
That hits.
and that will deal 12 piercing damage. And that is it for Juliet.
All right. Next up is Alexander.
It is my time to shine. I'm just going to use Ray of Frost again on Black Ooze 1. That had no effect, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't have any noticeable effect on it.
Let's see if Acid Splash does anything. Yep, so they have to succeed a dexterity saving throw against it. And it has to be DC of 14.
Okay, it fails.
Takes 1d6 poison damage.
Isn't it acid splash? Isn't that 1d6 acid damage?
Yeah, acid.
So this blob of acid springs forth through your hands and hits this thing, and it doesn't seem to have any noticeable effect.
God damn it. Good try, though. That was good thinking. Colt didn't do it.
So next up is that ooze that you just cast acid splash on it, and it's going to attack you, Alexander.
Yep.
That's a 13.
Miss. My AC is at 14.
All right. Next up is Turin, who is going to attack this the larger ooze to the north here. That's a 21. That'll hit for 13 damage. As he takes his spear and just plunges it into this thing. Next up is Black Ooze number 2, which is the ooze that Turin just attacked. It's going to try to attack him. That's an 18 that's going to hit.
Tell the Foley guy to just slap something with a water balloon. Water balloons all over the place.
So he is going to take 5 bludgeoning damage and 14 acid damage.
Yow.
As you see him wince back as his skin starts to sizzle. Alright, next up is Adel. He is going to take the flat of the blade of Bonebreaker sword and smack down at this Black Ooze number 1. That's a 19 that's going to hit for 19 damage. And then his second strike, that's an 11, that'll hit for 16 damage. As he slams his sword down on this thing and it just creases down the middle and falls apart. Talia, you're up.
Alright, so I am going to try
How are
to
you
figure
at
out if I
ranged
can get
attacks?
there. I can throw my dagger. Alright, let me do some math real quick. Oh, I can totally move there, I think.
You should have a range of about 30 feet on that dagger too, so I mean you wouldn't even have to move.
I think it's only 20 feet.
And you'd still get your sneak attack.
True.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna throw my dagger, which is the same thing as just stabbing, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
because
pretty much.
dexterity is your modifier. It's 21, that hits.
With my sneak attack, it will be... So that'll be a total of 20.
Nice.
So what does it look like when you take this thing down?
I'm gonna throw my dagger and have found this sweet spot. Just right in its blobberousness. Whatever it is that just punctures its... Whatever makes it able to stay cohesive.
Go for
And
the
it's
eyes,
just
boo.
gonna splatter. Splatter everywhere. It's gonna be great and gory. Glorious.
You stabbed it right in the flump.
Yep.
So Turin and Alunodas get a little bit on him.
I mean, obviously, but I assume we would all get some splatter on us.
So Turin takes his hand and wipes it off of his hide. And you can see where it's smoking a little bit off of his armor, where the acid from this thing is eating away at it.
Oops.
That's what he gets for not covering himself in magical stuff.
Alright, so you're out of combat.
Puddings and slimes. Puddings and slimes.
Was there anything stuck in the slime that might be worth looting?
You can give me an investigation check. 10 and 11. Okay, so you are going to go poking around in these puddings with your dagger, and all you're seeing are some like mouse bones inside of it. And it looks like it was digesting them.
You don't know that. Could have been collecting them.
Likes the bones.
All right. Now, does Alunodas see anything down the well? Or was it all pudding?
You look down the well, and it goes further than you can see. It appears to be a well where the half-orcs were getting their water. It looks like that's what this room was a well room.
Well, that's boring.
This is clearly a dead end. I say we go find another path.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yes, oh well.
God damn it.
I approve.
So Turin's actually going to walk up to it, and he's going to light a torch and throw it down in there. And you hear this thing fall for a while, and he's watching it fall down in this well, and you think it probably goes down about 200 feet, where it hits a like a bank of it looks like a river, and it's only there for a second before it rolls off and hits rolls into the stream below it. So it looks like the course of this water's changed.
Stupid fool of a toque.
You're the one who looked down the hole.
But I didn't knock anything down there. That's why I made it a point to say in chat that it was out of character.
Alexander, I can't see if you are not moving with that light.
But then the light shine.
Let the crossbow shine.
Wait for me, guys. Short legs.
And now Talia went from a little mean brunette to a little mean blonde from Full House.
I'm not going to take offense to that because I freaking love that show.
Okay,
I assumed
dudes.
you were quoting what's her name, one of the twins. Wait for me, I've got little legs. All right.
The truth is, I'm short enough that in real life I say that kind of thing because my husband is 6 foot and I am not.
Yeah, let's let our thief catch up and check for traps. I recall there was at least one. Hey, Adel, how you feeling? Looking kind of rough. Do you need to give yourself a quick pat down? Make sure you're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm not feeling so well. And he is going to cast... Oh, cool. So he's got Cure Wounds.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, because he would never heal you.
Of course not.
Alright, 1d8 plus 2. He gets back a whole 3 hit points.
Ooh. He's a tough guy.
Alright. So you guys walk back to the east and then take this chamber to the north.
While Talia checks for traps, maybe Alexander could join us.
So you walk into this next chamber to the northeast, and it's about 30 feet wide, and I guess about 60 or 40 feet deep. Inside, there are 4 stone, looks like chests. And then there is a path that leads to the west.
I say we look inside the stone chests.
Now hold on, I've heard of this children's game called Dark Souls.
Is that the children's game where one of them gets killed by the others?
Yes.
Brutally?
But not without a lot of rolling.
Gotcha. Wait. Rolling on the ground or rolling dice?
On the ground.
So what does that analogy have to do with this?
Well, one of these chests is obviously a mimic.
Gotcha.
Wow, that's some hardcore meta right there.
I did not say that Dark Souls was an actual in-game D&D thing, but I can see your point. But yeah, we're gonna open these chests regardless. I mean, we have no concept of mimics. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, I doubt that we would believe that random monsters live in chests to ambush adventurers.
No. The random monsters are the chests, man.
They pretend to be the chests. Alright, so Alunodas
So
is going
everyone-
to come over to this other chest, the separate one, down to the southeast, and open it up.
Everyone go to a chest so we can open them all up at the same time.
Now that's
Move
efficiency.
that bus. All right, so you guys are just opening these chests.
Yep.
Yep.
How many traps do we activate?
I learned my lesson from the first chest I opened, and I'm going to check it out first. I'm going to see if I can see anything that might poke me or swing out at me. Like, I learned my lesson from getting poisoned that very first time.
Okay, give me a perception check. And you're checking out the chest right in front of you, right?
Yes. I'm there because if I were... I mean, I could be there, but then I'm on top of the chest and that looks weird, so...
Okay, so you check it and there's no trap, and it doesn't appear to be locked.
Alright, I will open it.
Nice.
All right, so you open it, and inside you are going to find some crumpled clothing, or that's like, fallen apart over the edges.
Dry rotted to nothing.
Yep. So you take your dagger and start poking it around in there, and it just turns to dust.
What does Alunodas
Well,
find
that's
when he
disappointing.
opens his chest?
You're just opening it.
Yep.
So you open it, and you are going to find some pewter goblets and plates that looks like they've survived the ages.
Hey, who wants flatware that gives you lead poisoning? Anyone?
Dibs.
What do I open?
So
It's a goat.
You're going to open yours, and you're going to find some looks like much the same, like crumpled clothing that looks like it was blankets.
Makes sense.
And Juliet, you opening yours?
Yes.
Inside, you're going to find some tools that are made out of bronze. It looks like there was some more in there that were made out of steel, but those have long since rusted and fallen apart.
Damn. Worthless junk.
Yep.
We're adventurers, not archaeologists. All right, let's keep on exploring.
So Turin's
Talia
going to
has no
say if you're
preference,
done
actually.
wasting your time on ancient bed linens, can we get moving along?
We don't know exactly where this belt is, Turin. We have to be careful about this.
Psst, Alexander.
You do know it goes to like twice the length of the light, right? The light's just bright light, and then it goes.
Yeah, but
An
dim
extra-
light is disadvantaged, man.
Also, we're waiting for you to participate. And for Kevin to catch up. Ooh, another door.
All right, so you are going to take this hallway to the west, and you're going to walk for probably about 100 feet, and you're going to come across upon this massive stone door that's about 20 feet high and 15 feet across, but it's a double door. And there's some carvings on the door that look like symbols of chord.
Is it barred again?
It just looks like a door to you. You don't see any barring on the outside of it.
Is there any text, or are there any depictions of art on the door, or is it simply symbology?
It is a holy symbol of chord, and there's also a kind of like some art carved into it that is two Afworks in battle.
Ah, gotcha.
In battle or in quote-unquote battle?
In battle. Like fighting each other.
I see what you did there, Alunodas.
Hey, he's a monk. You know what they say about monks.
Does anybody want to give me a history check on the art?
Absolutely.
11.
20.
17.
Ha ha, I beat the nerd.
All right, so Alunodas and Juliet, from the stories that you've heard, reading and also reading the book about the Saviors, you think that this was a depiction of Bonebreaker's last battle, where he was slew by the teen who challenged him in combat.
Ooh. Alunodas relates this story. Maybe we're close.
Almost certainly.
Let's hope.
Not like there's any other way to go.
Let's open this door up.
Let's open it.
All right, so who's opening the door?
Strong person.
We should there wasn't any locks or anything, right? Nothing wacko.
Nobody's checked it.
Hey, Talia, would you like to check it real quick?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
In the light of the glowing crossbow, our little thief does search.
Hey, a perception check that wasn't terrible.
Nice.
All right, so you start looking around this, and you are going to notice like a faint glow to the holy symbol of cord on the door.
Hey guys, this weird glowy, this weird symbol is glowing.
Is Juliet still magic detecting, or is...
As long as 10 minutes have not passed, yes. But I'm willing to bet from my powers of deduction and the fact that this is a secret cave with a closed door that's been sealed away, it's probably some sort of trap. Or at least something that will hurt the non-faithful.
Probably.
So maybe shoot it with a crossbow from a distance?
I don't think that's how it works.
So Juliet would know this is definitely magical. Give me a Arcana check.
That's a 15.
6 for me.
So Juliet, you would know that this is some sort of warding glyph, but you don't know what kind.
Well, it's certainly made to keep people out, that's for sure.
Okay, so we grab one of the stone chests in the previous room and use it like Indiana Jones. You get inside of it, push the symbol, and shut the lid on the chest.
Who's Indiana Jones?
What about that one scroll that we have of undoing or something?
Oh. That's right, we still have the scrolls from our attempted raid on the tower.
Yes, indeed. Shall I do the honors, or would you like to, Alexander?
Go for it.
Alright, Juliet's gonna take the scroll of, I think it was Dispel Magic,
Yep.
and with a quick reading, realizing it's upside down, flipping it over, cast Dispel Magic on the door, or specifically on the symbol.
All right, so that is a 3rd level wizard spell.
Yep.
And what's the highest you can cast? 2nd?
Yes.
All right, I think that requires a roll, doesn't it?
Almost certainly. Let's see.
Would I be able to help in the casting to make it easier or no?
No. Let's see. Must make a ability check using spellcasting ability. Okay. And the DC is 10 plus whatever the warding thing's level is.
Actually,
So,
Alexander
spell check.
could help by giving you bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Oh, I will take out my bagpipes and start piping away to give you bardic inspiration.
You can do it, Juliet. You can rock this spell. And something that rhymes with it.
So the DC on this would be 13, and then you're going to get a +3 to your roll.
All right. Well, I got an 18 just base, so.
Oh, well, there you go. So Juliet pulls out this scroll and starts reading it and doing these hand gestures, and you see a flash of light as this glyph on this door just flashes out. It appears to be gone.
Ha. And what happens to the scroll?
Juliet crumples the scroll up and tosses it on the ground like a piece of trash.
Cold. Served us well.
Like the piece of trash it is.
You're trash.
Hey.
Can't believe you're littering. Alunodas picks up the garbage, puts it in his pocket to throw it away responsibly in a
Aren't you
recycling
going to
bin.
be ending the world anyway?
We're going to be rescuing a... Shut up.
Rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. We're going to bring about the end of the world, but littering is not cool, dude.
No. Gotta protect the world. We're protecting mothers.
There's a
children.
fine line on our mission here. And littering just goes way over the boundaries that we've set in our group.
It's disrespectful.
Well, let me just take a moment and give props to Talia for finding that trap. Thank you, Talia.
Yes, that was effective.
I do my best.
You going to give her a little pat on the head?
Yep.
She be best.
All right.
Let's
Juliet
open the
is
door
going
and
to
see
open
what's
the door.
beyond.
Yep.
All right, you go to open the door, and it is locked.
All right then.
Is there a locking mechanism anywhere on that?
Yes, there is a locking keyhole.
Let me see what I can do. Sleight of hand, correct?
Yep,
Nice roll.
Damn.
25. So Talia just takes her tools and sticks in this keyhole, and just with a twist of the wrist, you hear this click as it comes unlocked.
You just fucking throw your tools at it and opens.
Yes.
All right, so Juliet is going to open the door, assuming there's no more locks and or bars and or traps.
Okay. So you go to open the door, and it's pretty heavy. So you put your weight into it, and this door to the north here of this double doors creaks open with some effort. And inside...
Spider, 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 spider.
Ugh, why did it have to be spiders?
So as you go, are you going through the door, or are you just outside of it, Juliet?
Going inside.
Okay. So you go inside, and you're going to see a fairly large chamber. From what you can see from the light from Alexander's spell, and you are going to see a giant spider looking at you as it starts to move toward you.
Oh. Maybe we can reason with it.
Sure.
Cast comprehend language to understand spider speak.
I don't think that's a thing.
It could be a thing.
Spiders don't have languages.
Driders have language.
Yeah,
We
this
throw
is-
Edel into the webs.
All right, so I'm going to need everybody to go ahead and jump in initiative.
High roller as always.
All right, so Alunodas, you're going to go first.
Don't forget Turin.
Oh yeah, I need to put Adel in too. All right, so Turin's going to go first. So Juliet, have you said anything about spiders being in here?
Nope, not a word.
Well, we should all be able to see it.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
just
you can
outside
see
the bright
past
light, but it's still visible.
that. So Turin is going to take a double move action. So he is going to be able to get right up in this spider's grill, but he has to take an action to get there, so that's going to be the end of his turn. So Turin's just going to run past all of you into this room with his spear up over his head, yelling as he comes up on the spider. Next up is Alunodas.
I can't tell exactly where the spider's standing. It looks like I might be able to hit it. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to punchy punch. Smack. Ooh.
That's a crit fail. So let's go ahead and take care of that crit fail first.
5.
Please tell me it's drop your weapon.
Tripped up, you slip and fall. You are prone and must use a move action to stand up. This could be done in the same turn, and if you've not used a move action yet, which you have.
I have. Can I punch from the ground?
Yeah, I think with the amount of movement that you have, I'll let you punch from the ground with disadvantage.
Okay. 11.
That's going to miss.
Okay, and that will end Alunodas' turn.
So Alunodas comes running into this room, and as he tries to stop, his feet
slips
go out from underneath
damn
him.
stone and falls down.
So he falls on his ass and then does like this breakdance move, spitting on his back, and then takes a swing at the spider and misses. Juliet, you're up.
All right. Juliet levels her halberd and charges forward to stab at this thing's abdomen. It's a 9 to hit. I'm willing to bet that does not hit.
Yeah, that's going to miss.
That is the end of Juliet's turn.
Alright, so this spider is going to take a bite at Alunodas.
Unsurprising. He's lying down.
That's a 10, that's going to miss. Next up is Alexander.
Let's go.
Alejandro.
I'm gonna go like that and then shoot my crossbow at Giant Spider 2. Oh, wrong one. 7. I assume that misses.
Yeah, that's going to miss.
I like that your D20 plus 4 just barely did worse than the D6 plus 2.
Yeah.
Alright, so Adel's going to run into the room. But that's as far as he's going to get. He's going to stop. That's going to end his turn. Talia, you're up.
Alright, so, think I'm gonna move here. And I'm gonna stabby McStabberson.
That's a
A
hit.
17. Sweet. Alright, and then I'm going to do my sneak attack for an additional 5.
Alright, what's it look like when you take this thing down?
I'm just going to take my dagger and just cut right between where the head and abdomen are, so that its head just pops right off.
Alright.
Ew.
So Talia
Like a
takes
roast pinata.
Talia takes this spider out, and then everybody give me a perception check.
Oh my god, does the spider explode into more little spiders?
13 for Alunodas. Oh,
5.
passive of 16.
Okay, so Talia takes this out, and everybody's kind of like breathing hard, and you're excited after the battle. And Shane is going to start hearing this skittering, and then it gets louder, and there's more of it. And then out of this hole
west?
over here, you're going to see these giant spiders start spilling out.
Oh. When you say giant,
Guys, we have a problem.
when you say giant, can Adel just like step on them? Because that would be great.
Adel is small.
When we're talking about giant spiders, we're probably talking about the size of a Labrador Retriever.
Oh. Gross.
All right, so let's add these into the initiative.
I like that we all ran up to the spider as fast as we could. We all failed to hit it, and then Talia just comes in and just sort of stab very gently, very daintily, kills the shit out of it.
She's been the damage dealer this episode.
I love Talia.
All right, so Turin's going to go first. He is going to attack this giant spider here with his spear. That's a 19. That's going to hit. So he is just going to take this spear and like stab it right through the mouth. So that's going to be 10 damage. Next up is Alunodas.
Which one did he attack? Number one?
Number 1.
Alright, Alunodas is going to circle around behind, I think. And he's going to attack giant spider number 1 as well. First attack for 17.
That'll hit.
Alright, that's 5 damage to giant spider number 1. Second attack, also number 1, for 24, for 8 more damage.
All right, so Turin hits this thing in the mouth, and you run up and do like a somersault over top of this spider, land on your feet, turn around, and start punching this thing. And you just hit it in the back, and then it crumples to the ground.
Okay, let me check. I think, and my bonus strike, I think only can be used against something that has already been that I've already attacked. So, I think that's it for Ludos this round.
All right, giant spider number 5 is up, and it is going to shoot a web at Talia.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
that's a crit.
Fail, right? It failed? Yeah? No?
Good try.
So what do I do?
You are, hold on just a second. Number 1, you're gonna fall prone, and then you're gonna get hit with this sticky mass of a web that shoots out of the spider, and it's gonna knock you to the ground, and you are currently restrained and prone.
Oh. That's just not nice.
All right, Juliet, you're up.
All right. Juliet moves down towards Giant Spider 4 and takes a stab. An 11 to hit probably misses.
Yeah, that's gonna miss.
And that's it for Juliet.
Next up is Giant Spider number 3. It is going to shoot a web at Turin. That's a 16. He is going to succeed that save. So he's going to dodge out of the way of the web. Next up is Alexander.
Whoop whoop. I'm sorry, but whoop whooping counts as your standard, your movement, and your bonus action. You're done.
Ah, man. Yeah, you got me.
Bro.
I'm gonna shoot my crossbow over at Giant Spider 4. 15.
That'll hit.
7 damage.
So Alexander's going to level his crossbow and fire and hit this giant spider here to the south in one of the eyes. And you see it raise up one of its legs and is trying to like knock the arrow out of its eye socket. Next up is Adel. He is going to run over here to giant spider number 5 and flank with Alunodas. That is a 23. So he is going to come running with this Bonebreaker sword above his head, and he is going to stop and slash down into this spider, cutting 2 of its legs off. Giant spider number 2 is up. It is going to turn and try to bite Adel. That's a 13. That's going to miss. So it jumps at Adel and puts its legs up on his side and then bites down, but it bites into a solid metal piece of his armor and doesn't go through.
Just makes an annoying scrapey sound. Nobody likes it.
Talia, you're up.
Alright, so, can I cut myself out of this?
You can.
I'm gonna do that. And stand up.
Just, I'll say since the... well, you're going to have to damage this thing because it has hit points. So, I'll say that you'll be able to hit it, but give me a damage roll. Alright, so you start slicing through this thing, and you're able to make a pretty good sized hole, and you're able to free your arm. but you're currently still restrained and wrapped up into this.
Can I use my offhand?
Yep. All right, so you are able to get your other dagger out and start cutting through this to where you've got it off of you, and you can stand up.
Alright, that's my turn.
Giant spider number 4 is up. It is going to attack Juliet. That is a 9. I'm sure that misses.
Yep, that'll miss.
So it tries to jump on you, and you just take your halberd and knock its legs away, and take your halberd and put it in its mouth and shove it off of you. Turin's up next. He is going to move down here to spider number 2 and try to stab it with his spear. It's a 13. That's going to miss. And he's going to take a second attack. Oh, that's a crit fail. Ooh. Cowardice. It's a fear effect. Wisdom save ends it with a DC 10.
Turin's more afraid of spiders than you are, Hannah. Talia?
I mean, they're gross, so I can't blame him.
Next up is Alunodas.
Alright. It turns out that I was wrong. There's nothing in the player's handbook about not being able to use a bonus strike on other things, but Alunodas is going to go ahead and hit giant spider number 5. That is a 10.
That'll miss.
Okay. Second attack. It's 23.
That will hit.
Okay, for 6 damage. Is it still alive?
Yeah, it's still alive, but it's looking pretty rough. So you take that punch and you hit it in the back, and one of the legs comes apart from its body.
Nice. All right. So now bonus strike. 22. 5 more damage.
So what's it look like when you take this one out?
Okay. A blue glow surrounds his adamantine knuckles, and he just sort of swipes through it like it wasn't even there. Just sort of a string of blood and guts right across the floor. Now he's going to take his move action and flank down here.
Alrighty, next up is Juliet.
Alright, Juliet's going to push this thing off after its failed attack and come with a rising strike from her halberd, which is a 17 to hit.
That
And
hits.
that will deal 6 slashing damage, and that's it.
Alright, so you push it off of you and just swing your halberd down and cleave it right in the back, and you see it jerk instinctively, and it moves a couple of feet back from you. Giant spider number 3 is up. So it is going to take a bite at Adel. It's a 17, that's going to miss. Alexander, you're up.
Gotta move back. And then shoot over at Giant Spider 4. For 4 damage.
Alright, so you pull the crossbow up again and fire it, and catches this spider in the side. And you see it jerk. And one of its legs is kind of pinned up now, because it had one leg up getting ready to smack at Juliet, and the arrow went through it, and it goes through the leg and into its side, pinning its leg up in the air. Next up is Adel, who's going to attack this spider that he's flanking with Alunodas with. Ooh, that's a 21 for 10 damage. And then, so he's going to swing down and then hit the spider, and then swing back around in the sweeping strike. And that is a crit for 19 damage, which is going to cut this spider basically in half. Let's roll the crit table and see if anything cool comes out of it. Fleet of foot, you can quickly attack your opponent and can shift up to your movement even if you have already used your move action. If another creature is within your movement, you can make a basic melee attack on that creature. Spellcasters can make a melee or cast a free cantrip. So he is going to attack this giant spider that's below him. Ooh, and that's a 20. Non-natural. For 9 damage. So Adel comes up and he cuts this one spider in half, and then screaming in rage turns around and slams down on this other spider and takes 2 of its legs off, which is the spider that's up next. So it's reeling from losing 2 of its legs, and it's just going to take an instinctual bite at Adel, which is a 20, which is going to hit for 7 damage. And he is also going to take 5 points of poison damage. And he's going to have to make a Constitution save, which he succeeds.
Huzzah.
Yay!
Sort of.
All right, Talia, you're up.
So I'm gonna throw my dagger at giant spider number 4.
Oh, that'll hit.
I'm gonna use sneak attack for a total of 11 damage.
So what's it look like when you take this spider out?
I'm going to throw my dagger right at its abdomen, and it's just the knife's gonna just go right through it and rip all of its guts out.
And then returns to your hand with like this black ichor all over it.
Yeah, it's super gross. I'll deal with it later.
You're already covered in web. You're going to be spending the next 24 hours cleaning yourself anyway.
Yeah, you got webbies all in your hair.
Don't remind me.
All right, Turin's up. He is going to take a stab at this last remaining spider. That's a 26 for 13 points of damage. So he is just going to take this spear and just ram it down through the back of this spider, pinning it to the ground. And it gives up a little resistance, and then it just collapses, and it does that thing where like its legs curl up underneath it.
And then Turin does that dance because he's all scared of spiders now.
All right, so you guys are out of combat.
And what else do we see in this room now that we can pay attention?
So you start looking around this room, and it's a pretty large room. You think this is where this was like a living area at some point for the half-orcs that lived here. It's probably 60 or 70 feet wide and about 80 feet deep. So you are going to see a large pit in the middle of the floor, right where Alunodas is standing. This is where the spiders came out of, in the ground that you think, from some deeper level below. And then to the north here, you are going to see the bodies of 2 long dead half-orcs. One is lying on the floor, and one is propped up against the wall. And then over here to the west, you are going to see, it looks like there was an opening here that they had tried to fill up with rocks and like stone chests and like furniture, anything that they could find to plug this hole up over here. But the hole itself looks like it's probably 10 feet wide by about 10 feet tall. And you think that this was either like a room or a hallway, or as you look back into it, you can see about 50 or 60 feet, and it looks like it's like a hallway that extends further back. But you can also see kind of like a glow back there of daylight.
Interesting. So Alunodas is going to search these 2 bodies.
All right. Which one are you searching first?
First, the one to the north.
Okay. So this is the skeleton of a half-orc that, as you go to inspect it, it appears to be in like some sort of like robes. But as you touch it, like the cloth from the robes just falls apart, And around its neck, you are going to see a holy symbol of cord. And it looks like this half-orc died from multiple puncture wounds all over its body. That it's like mummified, but you can see where it was punctured.
Anybody want a souvenir? Holy symbol of cord?
I'll take that.
All right. Alunodas tosses it over to Juliet.
And Juliet, do you still have Detect Magic up?
I do.
You are going to notice that it has a magical ring on its finger.
Fantastic.
Do you tell Alunodas about that, or do you keep it to yourself?
I'm going to put it on, see what happens, if anything.
You're like 20 feet away.
So you put it on, Juliet?
Oh, wait, I can't. I have the Amulet of Dominion on. Never mind.
Oh, you do have the Amulet of Dominion on?
Wait.
What's that?
I didn't know that you were wearing the Amulet of Dominion.
I'm pretty sure I was at some point.
Yeah, you
I
put it
haven't
on, you
used
tried
it,
to use
but-
it, you failed, but you're still wearing it. Gives you bonuses.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know that you ever put it on, because I thought you pulled it out of the bag and then tried to control the minds of those beast folk and then stuck it back in the bag. So have you just...
I tucked it under clothes, but...
And I'm pretty sure Kevin said it was a magical ring on its finger, not that the amulet was magical.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the amulet is not magical. It's a holy symbol of cord, but there's a ring on this corpse's finger that is magical.
Oh, okay. I thought the holy symbol was magical. Never mind. Then I'm definitely going to inform Alunodas about that.
Okay. Okay, then Alunodas is going to pull the ring off and look at it.
As you pull it off, the finger comes off as well and crumbles in your hand. It is a gold ring with a pearl inset on it.
And he gets a natural 10 on the Arcana check. Probably can't tell anything about that.
Are you trained in Arcana?
No.
Then you wouldn't be able to tell what it is anyway.
So he's going to walk over and show it to Juliet and Alexander.
I would like to investigate it using Arcana.
Okay.
16.
Okay, this is a fairly common magical item, but not so common that everybody has one. It is a ring of protection +1.
Let's see. Well, I don't see how anyone couldn't use that. Who needs it the most?
I think I'm fine.
Needs it or wants it?
I mean, I'm pretty squishy.
Yep, I think our two glass cannons are going to be fighting over this. What's your AC, Talia?
15.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and take that?
I also wanted to ask if the giant spiders, if we could harvest anything like their fangs or anything like that for future
Good call.
uses.
Give me a nature check.
Oh god, I'm so bad at these.
How about a medicine check?
Or I'm
You
not.
or anything
I'm
like that?
22.
That's a crit.
Oh,
So, you would know that you would be able to harvest the poison glands in these spiders to use as poison.
I would like to attempt to do that.
All right, so we'll say that you take your knife and start cutting away into these things, and you're able to... has anybody got like a vial or something to put this poison in?
I do. I'll hand one over.
All right, so we're going to say that, Talia, you are able to harvest 6 uses of a giant spider poison, and it will do 1d6 damage.
con save ends.
Well, not the damage won't... A con save won't stop the damage, but the con save will prevent them from having the poison condition, and the DC on that is 10.
I wasn't aware that poisoned was a condition. I need to learn more about 5th edition.
Is that something that I can put on my dagger?
Yes.
Sweet! I mean, yay.
Yeah.
Poison condition just gives you disadvantage on checks and attacks.
Oh, okay. All right, now let's inspect this other body.
This other body appears to be the body of a half-orc woman. Much the same. She's got some clothing on that falls apart when you start, brustling around, moving around, searching for something on her, but you're not finding anything on her.
Okay. So, why don't we explore down to the south, find what else is in here before we check the blocked up hole? Can't tell if the cavern continues to the south.
So it looks like there's a cavern that continues to the south, and then this blocked up hole over here you think may lead out of the mountain, because you're seeing some daylight.
Real quick, let's drop a pebble down the hole. See how deep that is.
The hole in the center of the room?
Yeah, what the spiders came out of.
Okay, so you drop a pebble down, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. So about 6 or 7 seconds goes by, and then you hear something hit.
Damn. Okay. That's deep.
It's pretty deep.
Alright, let's look to the south.
Alright, so you exit this chamber and make your way down to this pathway to the south. And you are going to come up to another stone door similar to the one that you entered this room through.
Okay. Let's see. Juliet's detect magic still up, yeah, so...
Yep.
I'll check that and check for traps and etc., etc.
Alright, so you try to detect magic on this door, and you're not detecting anything magical about it. But the door is locked from the inside on this.
Are we on the inside, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
But you would still need to either pick the lock or find a key.
Or break the lock.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Punchinello, funny fellow.
Talia, you're up.
I'm gonna see if I can see any traps.
Alright, give me a perception check.
15.
You don't see any traps.
Right. Then I will attempt to pick the lock.
When we get out of here, I think we should let the half-orcs know that their priests use magic items. They have no honor.
13.
Yeah, that's enough to pop it. So you worked for a little bit. It wasn't like the other side where you just stuck it in and it popped right open. It takes you probably about a minute, but you're able to pop the lock on it.
Is it like in Skyrim where I go through 3 lock picks before I finally pop it?
No, it's like Fallout. You're going through bobby pins.
Yeah, it was the most annoying mechanic.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously, people don't know how to use it.
Let's open this door.
So before you open the door, Adel's like, "I'm not feeling so well, guys. Can we just take a breather?"
Okay. Let's let the meat shield rest.
We still have another meat shield, me.
And Turin.
Yeah. Adel can hang back. Doesn't he have spells?
Well, if we just, take
something?
a 15-minute break, then Adel can, the in-game explanation for hit dice. Cry a bit, I guess?
I don't know. I think it takes more like an hour, but...
Yeah, I think a short rest is an hour.
Might be a good time for a snack, too. Anybody have food?
I have
time for
trail
a second
mix.
breakfast already?
She's not a halfling. She's a growing girl. She needs her food. Here, have some trail mix. Good old raisins and peanuts. And M&M's.
That's the
Alexander,
best part.
do you have a Song of Rest?
Let me check. I don't think I do, but I don't see it notated on my spell list. I'll check the book real quick. Yeah, you automatically get a level 2.
And what's the bonus on that?
So if any of my friendly heroes can hear my performance, they regain hit points equal to regain hit points by spending hit dice at the end of the short rest. Each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points.
All right. Can you I guess they each roll theirs individually, so it doesn't matter.
That's what I assumed, sorry.
Alright, so Adel and Turin are both going to spin hit dice and get full up again. Do you want to take some... who has the ring?
The one we just found? We gave that to Talia.
Okay, so during that time, she'll be able to attune to that ring and then get the hit point bonus for it. So your AC should be 16 now, and you get a +1 to all your saving throws.
Sweet, thank you.
And what was the hit point bonus?
Sorry, the hit point bonus for the ring?
Yeah, you said something about a hit point bonus.
Oh, no, that was about the Song of Rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ring doesn't have a hit point bonus. Alright, so Adel and Turin are going to stand up for the rest, and Turin says, "Shall we?"
We shall. And Juliet has lost her magic.
Yep,
Right.
sadly.
But let's go ahead and open this bit. Get on the flow. Everybody do the dinosaur.
Juliet shoves the doors open.
Unless they pull open.
The deadly pit of sand.
Alright, so you open this door, and you're going to see directly to the south of you is a dilapidated bridge over a large pit that's probably 50 feet long. And you're going to be able to see, like, there's stone that's missing out of the floor of it. That's eroded and fell out over the millennia that it's been here. And then to the west of you, you're going to see another path that leads off to the east, and that appears to have kind of a pit to the northern side of that walkway, or the pathway to the east.
Okay, so we got 2 ways to go. We can either go across the crazy bridge or across the crazy gap.
We could try jumping.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, some
It
of
does
us are
sound like a
acrobats.
bad idea.
Can we at least tie some ropes around one another?
That sounds like a good idea. I was going to suggest that
Sounds like a
Alunodas
terrible
tries
idea.
jumping. That Alunodas tries jumping, and then you can throw rope to him, and thus maybe, or not tie rope to him, but throw the rope to him, and then we can tie it on either side, hopefully providing some more safety as the rest of you make your way across the bridge.
Okay, so consensus here. Are we going to explore the bridge, or are we going to explore the area with the pit across?
Let's go for the pit.
I fell into the pit. You fell into the pit.
I've
Sounds
never
like
heard
you're
that
quoting
song
something.
before.
That's
The foreshadowing is imminent.
Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec.
Oh,
Wrote
okay.
the song
Oh
about
my God,
falling
yes.
into the pit.
All right. So, who wants to be the first to fall down this? Jump across the pit.
With a long jump, you can jump up to your strength times 10 in feet if you succeed, or if you get a 10-foot start. So,
Now, as you come up to this pit appears to be about 10 feet wide, but there is about a 3-foot portion to the southern wall of this that you could probably, like, back up against the wall and move around. And as you approach this, you could start, like, feeling this upward, like, rising of, like, hot, humid air coming out of this pit.
Maybe it's a geothermal vent. If you fall in, you could be boiled alive.
Fun!
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna sneak.
Yeah, you could
Around
always
the
send
edge.
Talia up ahead of you to scout.
True.
Because I assume that I don't have to back up to the wall and scoot if there's 3 feet worth of space.
Yep. Since you're small.
Small.
Alright, so you're moving up here, or are you stealthing or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my hood up and go to the edge of the main part of the light and see what I can see with the other part of... Because, like, his spell casts
Yeah, dim light still projects
dim light for an additional
60
twice the
feet.
amount of space. Yeah.
So you look up through here, and it appears to... This path appears to end in a pit up against a wall.
I will relay that information to the others. Just say, hey, it appears that this is a dead end that ends in another hole.
Is there anything in the hole? Is it like a long drop hole?
That's an excellent question. I don't know if I have a light source on me.
You should be able to see dimly, but you could try dropping a pebble down and see how deep it is. But be ready to run back.
Yeah, I'll go up there and...
Alunodas is going to go ahead and hop the hole and come up and join her.
Thank you.
Make that check, son.
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
Do not roll a 1.
Otherwise,
just looking
Talia
at the long-
loses.
I think it's an athletics check.
Yeah,
It doesn't even have that. You just get a 10-foot running start and you can jump your strength in feet, or 10
nice.
times your strength in feet.
Wait, 10 times your strength?
Oh, no, just your strength, yes. So with the 10-foot start, you can jump your strength. So I can jump the 10-foot, no problem.
Okay. So you both get up to this pit, and much the same, there's hot, humid air pouring out of this thing. But you can't really see the bottom of it.
Okay, so it looks like it's a really deep pit with nasty air coming out. Probably no fun.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to go over the bridge. Alright, so I think we should send our heaviest person onto the bridge first to see if it'll hold their weight.
Oh,
and then
thanks.
if it does, one at a time.
Adel says, I'm not going out there.
I suggest that we tie a rope to the person that's going to be walking across.
See, that sounds pretty safe.
And then have all of us hold on to the rope in case it falls through.
Yeah, Alunodas will go ahead and tie a rope around his waist and start acrobaticsing his way across, hoping that helps. Avoiding holes and trying not to disturb any loose stones.
I will grab onto the rope that he left behind, because nobody seems to be holding onto it.
Oh, he
I
didn't
will
throw it
also
to
grab
anyone.
onto the rope.
He ties the rope like a belt around his waist, throws it to no one, and walks confidently onto the bridge.
I'm assuming
that's
that
how
at
I
least one of
imagine.
you cares.
Well, I mean, Talia cares, but I don't think I would do much in terms of being able to keep her from falling to your doom.
Well, actually, you're probably close to the same size as Alunodas. Especially with all that ice
Yeah,
cream
but
you've been
my strength is
eating.
that of a little girl.
All right, so how are we going to manage this, Kevin?
What's your movement?
9.
All right, so I'm going to need two.
I can get most of the way across in one burst of movement. If I use both my actions, then I can make it all the way across by running. But I wouldn't be able to do anything special for that.
Yeah, I'm going to say if you try to like dash across this thing, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage for a dexterity check.
Mhm.
I'm going to need a straight. If you try to like walk across this thing, you won't have disadvantage. I want to need a straight dexterity check from you. 2 of them.
All right, I'll just walk across with a dexterity check.
So the first one, so you're walking across this bridge and you're like moving around the stones that have fallen out of it, not having really any trouble, and then you start getting towards the end of the bridge. Give me one more dexterity save. That's a 22. So yeah, you just walk around these holes and make it to the other side of this bridge with seemingly no trouble whatsoever.
And Alunodas does a little jig once he's on safe ground.
Can we see if there's anything that we can tie the rope off to on both sides?
So
Green
you're not
elf
really
boy standing
seeing
by.
anything on either side of this bridge. There's like a low railing on the left and right of it.
All right, so Alunodas just braces himself and holds his end and waits for somebody to come over. He looks very, very confident in his abilities. He shouldn't be confident.
Talia, you should be next, so at least we have 2 people on the other side. You're light enough that if you do fall...
Yeah, Alunodas can probably
Alunodas.
catch you well enough.
Yeah.
Alright, I will tie the end of the rope that we're holding onto myself so that Alunodas is connected to me, basically, and start making my way across.
All right, and I will give you a +2 to your check. Give me a dexterity check. Because +2 because you're using the rope. So that's 26. All right, so you make it halfway out to the bridge, and like no trouble whatsoever. You're just walking like you would on flat ground with not a care. Give me one more dexterity check. So that's a 20. So yeah, you dodge all these holes in the bridge, and it seems pretty stable to you, but you don't weigh that much.
I'm going to untie myself and hand the end of the rope to Alunodas so he can throw it over.
Yeah,
That's
my
a
strength is
long
10.
throw.
Oh wait,
Well,
no, it's a dexterity.
I would assume that like Alunodas would have had one end of the rope, and somebody on the other end of the bridge would have had the other end of the rope.
Oh yeah, that
makes
would make more sense.
All right.
Because you do have endless rope.
Oh, yeah,
I'd forgotten
we do have
about
endless
that.
rope.
Yeah.
So I could have tied myself up to it and still just had rope.
And been tied to either end, one end being basically in the bag.
All right, who's going next?
I guess I'll go.
So it's an 11 plus 2 is a 13. You're going to get out to halfway out on this bridge, and you are going to step on one of these stones, and you can feel it like sink into the bridge, but it doesn't fall out from underneath you. But that was a close call.
Totally shart yourself in fear. Remember, it's spelled with an I, not a J.
So the next dexterity check is a 20, so you recover from that, and you move quickly away from where you just stepped, and you're able to make it to the other side of the bridge. So Turin's going to say, I'm the strongest, so I should probably go last, so I can hold the rope on this side.
Oh no, is Adel going to start a fight over that?
You know what? This is like that problem where you have to sail across with the wolf, the sheep, and the human. So, in the interest of not having Adel and Turin kill each other, Adel should go across.
He's like, it's fine.
Yeah, we do need somebody strong on this side of the bridge. We said our 3 weakest characters first.
His first roll is 19, so he's able to walk out to the middle of this bridge, but he's taking it like really slow and taking his time and like testing out the stones underneath his feet before he puts his full weight down. And then the next roll is an 18, so it's going to take him a while, and he's being really careful moving around these holes, but he's going to be able to make it to the other side of the bridge.
Okay, Juliet will go next. That is a 13.
Plus 2 is 15. Yeah,
Yep.
so you're able to make it out to halfway on the bridge with no problems. But you're probably kind of being careful yourself because you're wearing heavy armor, and just for the fact that you're a Dragonborn, you probably already weigh like 250 some odd pounds.
Yeah.
So.
I think she's a svelte 240.
All right, one more dex
close to
save.
that. That is a 10. Plus 2 would be a 12.
All right, so you start taking your next steps, and you get out to about here, and the stones are going to start crumbling underneath your feet. Give me an athletics check, or just give me another dexterity save.
13.
All right, so you're able, as the stones start falling out from underneath your feet, you are able to like push off from them and gain your balance and grab a hold of this railing. But some of the stones that you had just stepped on, there's now a larger gap in the bridge from where the stones fell away from underneath your feet.
Oh, you know what? We'll fix that later. Juliet is going to continue on then. Another dexterity check.
Yeah, one more.
Let's say 7. Always.
So that's a 9. So that crack has now started to widen and it's like approaching your feet. Give me one more dexterity save.
It's an 11.
All right, so you start to fall, and you catch yourself with this rope, and you're able to like steady yourself and find a foothold on the bridge. But now there's like right behind your feet a gaping hole in the bridge where you were standing.
Can we just pull her in like a fish on a line now?
Yeah, she's to the other side now.
Okay.
All right, Turin's up. So he is going to take this rope and he is going to tie it around his waist and chest. He's going to take his spear, kind of like thread it through the rope to hold it against his back, and he's going to do the same with his shield so he can have his hands free. And he is going to move out onto the bridge, and that's an 18, so he's taking his time too, and he's testing out each of the stones with his foot before he puts his full weight down. Oh, so he starts to get to about 3/4 through the bridge, and he gets to about right here, and all the stones fall away from his feet, and he is started to fall. Oh, so he tries to grab a hold of the stones in the bridge, but his hands get nothing but air, and he is currently free falling down into this pit.
Is he
Strength checks.
Yeah, he's tied to the rope. I'm gonna have Adel do a strength check, and then each one of you can aid him. So everybody roll me a strength check, and anything above a 13, I'll give a +1 bonus to.
+4 to Adel's strength check.
I thought it was a +1 per.
Yeah, it was +1 per, so that'll be a +2.
+2.
That does not.
All right, so that is going to be a 19. So Adel sees him falling, and for a split second, you can kind of see in his head, he's like, well, should I try to save this guy or not? And then as that rope's like spooling out, you'll see him grab a hold of it and wrap his arm around it, and the rope grows tight as he's able to stop the fall. So now it's just going to be a matter of pulling him back up if everybody wants to assist in a strength check again.
Yes.
Sure.
Woohoo! Crit success.
I'm just pulling up the rope as people are pulling it.
You're just coiling it up on the ground.
I'm helping. So since that's a crit, Alunodas, I'm going to give him a +2 to his check.
Yay!
So that'll be a 20. So after about 2 minutes, you guys are able to get Turin back up on the bridge, and he pulls himself. He's got his arms up in the hole of the bridge and pulls himself up, and starts crawling the rest of the way across the bridge. But now everybody's over.
Turin's had a rough day.
So he stands up and dusts himself off, and there's kind of like this moment that Turin and Adel kind of lock eyes for a minute, and then they look away from each other.
Now kiss.
So is this a bromance moment or a what?
It's more of a moment that it was like, I would say thanks for saving my life, but fuck you.
All right. So you know that we're on the far side of the bridge.
So you get past the bridge, and now you're going to continue down this path to the southeast. And down in front of you, you are going to see a door that's about 5 feet wide that's made out of like this white stone. And then 2 suits of armor standing beside the door. And
It's a good thing they're not labeled as though they were enemies or anything.
So, a different kind of door and 2 special-looking sentry things.
Very ambiguous.
I think we're at the tomb.
Oh, come on. This door won't wait all day. Wait, yes, it will.
Yeah.
All right, let's get our fighters up and ready to fight.
All right, so as you approach, you're going to see both of these suits of armor animate, and they're going to raise their great swords and start moving towards you. And I think that's probably a good place to end it. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. Do you have an idea to make the podcast better? Tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebacklespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor. Are annoying adventurers stealing your treasure and slaying ye hard-earned magical beasties? An expertly crafted dungeon may just be what ye need. Hell, I'm Brog Stoneshield Jr. of Stoneshield and Sons Dungeon Contractors. When me pal started this business, he had but one philosophy: help people protect what they worked so hard to get. We have free in-tower consultations to design a lair just for ye needs. Our expert dwarven stonesmiths will help you build a dungeon of your dreams, and we can work with any budget. Spike traps, we got 'em. Flame pillars, no problem. Bottomless pits, we're the best in the business. Do you already have a dungeon and want to upgrade? We can help make it even more secure. With a combined 600 years of experience, there's no dungeon too big or too small. We do them all. Just contact Stoneshield and Sons Dungeon Contractors for all your dungeon needs.
Who the hell is Vito?
What's that?
Who the hell is Vito?
Vito.
Yeah, the macro you have still is labeled veto.
Oh. That's his macro. Well, I guess it'd be my macro.
He's level 5, so he should have 25 lay on hands points available. And from now on, I think I'm going to go ahead and call that his little rub and tug maneuver.
What a pleasant thought.
Rubbing his chin, tugging his beard, like dwarves do.
Uh-huh.
Unless, do they have the Lord of the Rings movies in this universe?
No, because movies don't exist.
You don't know. Mages have illusions. They can do shit like that.
They're moving pictures, man.
They can illuminate them, and they have illusions that can make sound.
No,
Put
but they
them
don't
together,
call them
you have films. Oh, and by the way, that hole was 787.7 feet deep, roughly.
9.8 meters per second, or 32.6. If I
Did
remember
you take
correctly.
into...
I
Did you
did
take
not. I
into
assumed
account-
that it never reached terminal velocity. No.
Okay, yeah.
I think it takes 12 seconds to reach terminal velocity.
Well, it depends on the size of the object and shape.
Well, the Earth is... D&D isn't a perfect vacuum. Fuck you.
Oh, by the way,
I was...
they're no longer tied together. Just FYI.
No,
I was
we
super
still are.
tempted to cut the rope on Turin and let him fall. I realize that makes me a terrible person, but I was like, man, do we really want him taking the sword from us? Because that's the deal, right?
No.
Well, we need him to be a meat shield. Then we can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We still need him. Okay.
Yeah, from
It's
my
Adel we
understanding,
really want to get rid of. Adel is the sacrifice.
yeah, he wants the sword, the Bonebreaker sword or whatever, but we want the artifact that's inside that we need the sword to get into.
I'm just imagining this conversation like happening in front of like Adel and Turin. They're
Which
both
one
like,
can we
what
afford to
the
get rid of most?"
fuck? We're like right here. And then
But
then
they're
they
not
become
controlled
friends.
by players, so they don't really matter. I mean,
Except that, okay, so the conversation's not taking place verbally, though. I'm writing it in my secret script so that only people who aren't them can read it. So, like, they look at the note that's being passed back and forth, and they're like, what the fuck does this say?
It's the special script you devised for, Uncle Luno and Aunt Julie.
We're making very awkward glances towards them as we're passing the notes back and forth.
Right?
NPCs sweat nervously.
Edelheart Turin.
Do you like me? Circle yes, no, or maybe. Yeah, so they're going to be like best buds and like turn on the party now.
I would never see that coming from Adel.
It's okay. I'm sure we would beat Adel up again.
I don't know, man. That'd probably be a pretty good fight. Turn and
the
Adel against the
barbarian
rest
and
of the party.
Hellsworn against the rest of us. That would be a tough fight.
That's
I
what
could
old
take it.
person's for, son.
I'm kidding. I couldn't take them by myself.
Well, if you had somewhere to hide, I don't think either of them is very perceptive.
If I just kept running away and throwing my dagger, because I'm faster than them.
You use your bonus to dash, and yeah, that would work.
Yeah, just, like, I've been
You're
playing
literally
Skyrim.
running circles around them.
I've been playing Skyrim recently, and I like to challenge myself. So I've been doing a magic-only campaign where I don't use any weapons.
Nice.
And so, like, I was facing this one boss battle that was about twice the level that I was about half the level I should have been when I faced him. And I 100% kited him around the room while I waited for my magic to rebuild so that I could shoot him with sparks.
Yeah.
And then kite him some more. It was great.
The real struggle is whenever you put on like a higher difficulty to where like the enemies have outskilled the damage that you do. So for you play like a high elf or something that has the racial ability that like once every 24 hours you can regen all your mana super quick.
Yep, that's what I play.
Yeah, you do that, and so you get to the point where you have to just wait 24 hours in between every instance of combat, so that way you can actually have the mana needed to kill them.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with like ogre. I mean, not ogre, fucking orc, and just with their health regen. Like you have to wait like 24 hours between every combat, so that way you don't die on the combat, and you can use your racial passive to regain health.
Yeah, it's. I don't play a game to make it super difficult. I do like a challenge, but I've never liked to play on like the max difficulty, with I think one exception. So I like to play on that middle of the road, so they still get the challenge, but I'm also like enjoying the game.
So Dark Souls is not your game.
God, no. Although when I worked at GameStop, I used to be able to sell that game coupled with an extra controller sometimes too, because I had so many stories of people coming in after purchasing that game to buy an extra controller. Yeah, because they would throw them, or like I had one guy that broke it in half. Like,
doesn't surprise me.
You really have to try at that point.
You really do. He was kind of built. He was like a military guy because I was working at one right by Norfolk Naval Base. So he's like a big, muscle bound Navy guy, and he came in like, I need a controller.
They should sell insurance on those.
Insurance does not cover breaking it in half.
Warranty, I mean. I got attacked by a magpie today.
What?
I was out for my daily walk in the park, and I guess I came close enough to its nest that it decided to swoop down on me, let me know that it didn't like me being there. I mean, it just sort of like swooped right past my back, so it's like it just sort of felt something brush me. I was like, what the hell? Oh, it's a magpie. And I did it again, a few feet later, but it didn't really chase me or anything.
Well, that's fun. I wish... Have you seen the story about the little girl who feeds crows every day, and so they bring her gifts?
Yes, I've heard about that. That's awesome.
I want to be that little girl, but like, we don't have any crows around here. We only have pigeons.
Pigeons are stupid and ugly. They're the rats of the sky.
They really are. I like seagulls. A lot of people in West Coast and East, like a lot of people on the coast really hate seagulls.
Yeah,
but
they're
I love
also
them.
rats.
No, they're not. They're adorable, and they let you know when you're close to shore. Like, when you start seeing seagulls, you know that you're getting close. So it's like a sailor's thing.
When we went to the beach a couple of weeks ago, there's seagulls everywhere, but the real assholes were the crows. So, like, I'm hanging out on the beach, and there's all these seagulls around us, and my baby niece had this bottle that was in a beach bag. And then, like, out of nowhere, this crow swoops down over top of my head, lands on this bag, and pulls her bottle out of the bag and tries to take off with it.
They're smart little suckers. Have you seen where they've taken a raven and he performed an 8-step puzzle process to get a reward? They're smart.
They have persistence of objects. They know that the person behind the curtain is the person who just stepped behind the curtain. Things like that.
Well, and they remember faces for years. And will pass that knowledge on. So they did a study.
Across generations.
Yeah, they did a study where people would wear a specific mask and harass the birds. Throw sticks at them, yell at them.
Or be nice to them. They also have a nice mask.
Yeah, a different mask would be nice to them. One mask would be nice, the other mask would be mean. And I think this experiment's been going on for like 2 or 3 decades at this point.
Yeah, 20.
And they still will attack the person with the mean mask or bring things to the person with the nice mask.
The music you heard on this episode was Rights and Crossing the Chasm by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.